Chapter 10. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Eleanor Roosevelt. Party of one. We may feel like a fraction sometimes, but one is a whole number. Well, then there's parties and functions. Yup, the real swear words for most single or partnered parents. Social functions, weddings, religious functions, school functions. Children's parties, friends' parties, office parties, cocktail parties. Yes, the list goes on. And here you are, praying it gets cancelled, moved to another country, or better yet, you find out you actually weren't invited. Alas, the majority of the time, you are definitely invited. So are your children, most times, and there's no escaping the inevitable. So how do we deal with this without a week of anxiety, a few hours of pain, and a few more days post-mortem of exactly how horrible it really was? Don't go. Hide under your covers until the arrangement passes. Just kidding. Wouldn't that be simpler? Only a lot, but we need a game plan here, and a really good one at that. You want the key, don't you? I know you do. Here's a couple of tips that may be of use to you. It's kind of like going into war, you know? The better prepared you are, the less likely you are to be ambushed. So let's get practical quick, and then we'll get personal. Okay? Right. So, first thing, soldier, dress in an outfit you're comfortable with and gives you a kick of confidence when you're hanging out in it with your mirror image. But not just with it on, with your hair done, or at least brushed, and some facial paint. We're preparing for war here. Let's not kid around, you know what I'm talking about. Yep, makeup of some sort, cosmetics, color to hide the fear. This is optional for male-type parental people. Some pretty jewelry is good too, can be inexpensive costume stuff. Just pretty, that's the key. Also, it gives you something to check on if you don't want to look like you're doing nothing when you're standing alone. Now let's get over the obvious big don't. Don't keep telling yourself you're going to have fun. Fun happens accidentally while you're doing stuff you enjoy. That may or may not be accurate here. A better plan is to tell yourself you're going to get through it and learn something new about your ability to cope when you least expect to. Tell yourself this rather. I am going to cope with any discomfort that arises without crumbling, and I will model courage for my children. That's a line along which to self-chat pre-parties or functions of any sort you may not be too excited about, for whatever reasons. Drinks, anyone? Be thirsty, or at least pretend to be. Have a drink in your hand or nearby at all times, and a snack perhaps. People with a drink in their hand, watching others and smiling at nothing occasionally, look happier. Learn to ask questions. Very important. In fact, this is the secret. Life skills trainers will tell you again and again, everyone is 100 times more interested in themselves than you, so milk it. Have them prove it. Oh, you're maybe thinking, but I hate small talk. I don't know how to start up a conversation. I never know what to say. I'm not that kind of person who can just talk to anyone. Great. Thanks for all the whining. Now let's remember, you're a parent. You've braved midnight vomits and temperatures. You've survived dirty diapers on a hot day and soaked through bedclothes in winter. You are mother or father or parent. Remember the rule. You can do this. Actually, it's not so hard, and if you make it into a game, you can have lots of fun with it all by yourself. Worked for me. So here's the game. Your goal is to get to 3 answered questions. Once you hit that goal a few times, add 2. And then your goal is to get to 5, etc. So start it off with a smile at someone watching others, or the children playing, or someone getting a drink. Just smile. For the first while, just practice the smile. If you get smiles back, that's a point. If you don't, their loss. Once smiles are in the bag and you're racking up the points, add a hi. You get a hi back, you get a point. You don't, their loss. Once you're handling that, go to the next level. How you doing? If you get an answer back, words, not a nod or a grunt, real words, you get a point. Yay. If not, back away. It may not be human. Then the next level, after you can smile, say hi and how you doing, is to ask, you come here often? I'm just kidding, I'm kidding. Lighten up a little here. It is party war, but there's no bloodshed, you know what I'm saying? If you're at a children's party, your next question can be, Which is yours? Remember, people love to talk about themselves. Pretend you're a dairy farmer, remember? Milk it. So where were we? Oh yes, get good at asking questions that do not have a yes or no coming at the end of them. Those are conversation killers. Many internationally renowned speakers on new relationship development speak about the FORM method, F-O-R-M, family, occupation, recreation, message. So you'll be asking questions in that general direction. Which kid is yours? Ask a few questions about the kid. Does your work allow you a lot of time with your children? Beats, what do you do? That can follow the yes or no that comes from that question. Ask a few questions about how they chose to do that, how long they've done it for, do they love it, what fills your spare time? Yeah, right, spare time. Busy parents have loads of that. But if this is also a single parent, this is when you're likely to discover it and you can both laugh together, and by then a whole new conversation will flow as you compare notes and survival techniques. Remember that parents who have partners and take children to parties on their own are single parents in that moment. There is no question. Parents who spend a lot of time separated from their partners because of business are single parents most of the time too. If not, it will get you an answer anyway. So now you'll be able to ask what they'd love to do if they had more time and a few questions about that. And the message part is something they would love that they can't access right now in their lives, for whatever reason. And when you seem really interested, they'll share it with you, stranger or not. If you've arrived at this point in the conversation, I can assure you, they trust you like a friend, and they don't even know why. But we do. It's because you're the first person who has interviewed them casually and cared about their answers in forever. This is what I've learned, and remember, knowledge only brings change if you apply it. So a real example may be, how you doing? Good. Yeah, that's good. Which one is yours? That one. Oh, sweet. How old now? Or, oh, lovely. Which school's he at? Or, oh, wow, she looks like she's really enjoying that. Is that a passion for her? And on you go. You can keep the dialogue growing by responding, really? Why is that? To most questions. Here's an example. Oh, wow, she looks like she's really enjoying that. Is that a passion for her? No. Really? Why is that? You see? Remember that if it all goes bad, this is not a date or a life commitment. Smile and back away, count your points, lick your wounds, and begin again. Next. Now you want to know, what do I do if I run out of questions, right? I'm terrible at small talk. Want the key? Sit for the next few minutes and write down and think about, what would you love to talk about? You and your children, right? There you go. So what questions could people ask you that you'd be comfortable to share the answers to? Then learn to ask those questions of others and listen deliberately. L-I-S-T-E-N. Lend interested silence to everyone's narratives. That one's mine. I really enjoy expanding acronyms. Write them down. And as you keep practicing this while driving, sitting on transport, praying you'll survive the next party or function, you'll see your list grow bigger and bigger until you could easily be a small talk show host. You have such a repertoire up your sleeve. If you get really freaked at a party gathering type event, you must have a mobile phone, right? He who receives the most beeps wins popularity who's who every time. So, you know, SMS yourself. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Did you just laugh? Hey, try it first and then tell me who's thinking here. It's a winner. Takes up a good few minutes, and then you put your phone where the beep can be heard, on your hip, keep holding it, loud tone and in your bag, and practice forgetting you're about to get the SMS. Okay, I admit that may seem like a last resort, but if you're creative, it can be a great encourager. Try to be funny, be sensual, be sweet and loving, be playful, make a comment on something funny you saw or thought. You are your own best company when you get it right. So yeah, SMS yourself. So is your strategy sorted now? Want to write some questions to ask here or think about them? Remember a great party survival story? Want to keep this space for a time you have one? It's up to you. But here it is. All right. You'll be great, I know it. Go play at parties.